Hey there friends, welcome to another video. This is going to be a thrift with me at a Las Vegas Goodwill. This Goodwill is on the Las Vegas Strip. It's actually the newest Goodwill, and I usually hit up this store at least twice a week. Now they have started putting out their Halloween items. You can see they have quite a bit on these shelves. Now not much of it is donated merchandise from what I could tell. A lot of it looks like it is newer stuff. So I guess I shouldn't say it's not donated. It's probably donated by stores or manufacturers or something like that. But I really enjoyed the vintage Halloween items, and I was not finding a lot of that today. A lot of this stuff looked really new. So if this is your first time catching one of my videos, I do want to say hello and welcome. My name is Desiree, and this channel is Good, Great, Fabulous, because usually the things I find while I'm thrifting are good, they're great, they're fabulous. Now, if you did not know, I used to be a news reporter back in my working a corporate job days, and I thought I would do a little story time sharing with you all how I got started in that job and how I got started in that career. But first, I do want to let you know that I just released a thrift shopper's guide to Las Vegas. Now, if you are planning to visit Las Vegas anytime soon and you want to know where all the thrift stores are, well, I did all the hard work for you, and you can find more information on my thrift shopper's guide in the description of this video. All right, let's go ahead and get started, and I will tell you the story of how I became a news reporter. Now, when I was in college, I actually was a theater major, and even though that was a lot of fun, I had realized that I probably wasn't going to have a very long career, or maybe I was just feeling a little kind of maybe disillusioned, I would say, because I was really young. And so maybe I had some expectations, that I just didn't think that I could make a career or at least find a decent job as a theater major, at least not, doing something that I really wanted to do and something that I would enjoy doing. So I ended up switching my major over to journalism because I always had a really strong skill of writing and really gathering information and communicating information to people. When I was younger, I was always the one that people would ask, oh, what happened? Like when I was in school and something would happen, people would say, oh, what happened? What were all the details? Were you there? How did this happen? And so that was always kind of my natural personality, was to share information. And I remember when I was really little, my dad was watching television, and back in those days, news reporters were very much like celebrities. And he used to love a reporter, and her name was Connie Chung. Now, depending on your age, you may know who I'm talking about, you may not, but back in those days, I want to say it was the maybe late 70s, early 80s. She was a very beautiful news reporter, and she was very popular, and my dad really liked her. But what really kind of caught my interest, even back then at that young age, was the fact that you could actually have a job on television talking about current events, sharing information, communicating with people, all the things that were going on or the things that were relevant as it relates to our world today. And that's something that always stuck with me. So as I got older, I realized that this is something that I really could do. And like I said, I had a really strong writing skill. When I was in high school, I was able to take the advanced English classes and writing classes. And so that was just something that I had a natural, I guess, ability for. So fast forward to my college years, when I realized that the theatrical degree was not going to probably work for me long term, I decided to go into the field of journalism. But I always knew that I wanted to do something more than just work for a newspaper. My ultimate goal really was to be an on air reporter. So, doing some research back in those days, we didn't have the internet, but we had the phone book and we had the phone. And so I was checking the local yellow pages, and sure enough, there was a school listed in there called the Academy of Radio and Television Broadcasting. Now, I can't tell you how excited I was when I found this school. So I called, made an appointment. Sure enough, I got accepted, and it was a 2-year program. Now, this school did have a radio program and a television program. However, for various reasons, I was in the radio program, and even though I really wanted to be in the TV program, I did not have, I guess, either the courage or the knowledge or the experience to really communicate that that's what I wanted to do. So I found myself stuck in radio. And not to say that it was a mistake, but I always wonder, if I would have really pressed that I wanted to do the TV program, who knows, where I would have been, what jobs I would have had, and whatever. But the radio program also gave me a lot of opportunities, and I was able to find work right away because so many people were interested in TV. And back then, television reporter jobs were really hard to find, and it was a very competitive market. Now, I grew up in California, Southern California, so if you know anything about LA, you know that it is filled with people who want to do acting, people who want to do dancing, any type of performing art. There is no shortage of people. But the thing is back then, there was not a lot of people trying to get into radio. So I got my first job right away and absolutely loved being a news reporter. And some of the benefits of working in radio was that I didn't have to always, be done up. I didn't have to worry about having an on-camera presence. But I did learn a lot about being on air and trying to, write information quickly and then report that information and condense it down within a matter of minutes, sometimes seconds. Like if I had to do a traffic report, sometimes those traffic reports were only 15 seconds, 30 seconds, and sometimes I would have to do a full newscast in 2 minutes or 90 seconds or whatever. So it really taught me how to kind of gather information, condense it down, and then deliver that information in a way that people could understand. And also, if someone didn't have a lot of time, like I said, I really learned how to communicate a lot of information very, very quickly. So I ended up working in radio for about 13 years. Now, during that time, I had also done a few spots here and there on television. I had done some TV segments, especially when I was doing blogging, which is probably another story. But I had done TV segments, and sometimes I would do traffic segments on TV. And I really, really loved it because even though radio and TV are both on-air mediums, there's a whole different energy when you're on TV as opposed to radio. Now, both of them are exciting. Both of them have lots of challenges, but I have to say I really enjoyed doing that work. And now as I've kind of moved on from that and I've done other things, there's nothing to say that I would not go back into doing news. I think the thing is for me is that I just do not want to work in a corporate job. I do not want to work such a rigid schedule and then have to deal with the demands of being a reporter, especially when there's a breaking story. If there is a car crash and you're a traffic reporter, it's a lot to deal with. The same as if you're a news reporter and there's a major breaking story, sometimes, you are reporting around the clock. So, I don't know, I think I'm just at a point in my life now where I just don't want to be so stuck in a very demanding schedule and also a very demanding lifestyle, because as we all know, when you work for someone else, it basically is a lifestyle. Having a job Monday through Friday or whatever it is a lifestyle. And at the time I was a single mother, and my child, my son was very, very young, and I wanted to be home with him because he had a lot of illnesses and health challenges when he was little, and so it was just best that I was home and I was available for him. But not going too far off track, that is kind of my story into how I fell into news reporting. Now, I would really love to continue doing news, but I would like to do it in a way that I want to do it. You may have noticed on this channel that sometimes I do little mini news videos of things that I think are of interest to those of us in the reselling or thrifting community. And I really do enjoy that. I really do find that I just really feel connected, I guess, to the people that I'm sharing with, as well as the information or the content that I am sharing, because I really want to make sure that we all have as much information as possible, especially when it comes to, making money trying to resell things that we hopefully buy cheap and sell for a profit. And I know it's not easy. I know that being a reseller has its own challenges, but I come from the lens of it's better to have too much information than not enough. And sometimes you just want to keep up on the industry, right? Like maybe I may share something that doesn't affect you because maybe I talk about a clothing news story and you don't sell clothing, but it's always good to kind of, I guess, stay connected on the things that are happening within the reseller industry or within the reseller community. So that's about it. Now, I hope you enjoyed this little story time. I just realized I haven't been kind of commentating on this video here, but it's basically just me kind of shopping the shelves at Goodwill, looking for some interesting items, and mostly I sell jewelry, but every now and again I will look in the home goods aisle. I really love vintage glass. That is my other passion, and I love finding just something that's different, unique, maybe even something kind of strange, just anything that kind of catches my eye. So while my main category that I resell in is jewelry, I always stay open to something that I may think that I could make money flipping. Now, like I said earlier, this Goodwill is the newest Goodwill in Las Vegas. It is on the Strip. And so this Goodwill is one of the larger Goodwills, and it tends to get a lot more, at least in my experience from what I've seen, their inventory seems to turn over much faster than some of the other stores. Now, this Goodwill location is also very close to the Goodwill outlet, aka the bins, and so there really is no shortage of items coming into this store. And what's funny is that when I was talking to one of the ladies that works at this location, she told me that this store doesn't get a lot of donations, which I found kind of surprising. She said, yeah, this store doesn't really get a lot of, donations from people. She's like, but we do get a lot of stuff. I can't remember what she called it, bales or something, like big boxes of maybe... It wasn't a Gaylord, it was something else. But anyway, she said they get big bales or pallets that come through from the Goodwill Distribution Center, which I think she meant the outlet. Because if you've ever been to the Goodwill bins here in Las Vegas, you will see that the receiving center where they get all the stuff is ginormous. It is huge. So if you're ever in Las Vegas, make sure you do check out the bins because there is a lot of good deals in there. And of course, if you want to know where all of these are, you can pick up my guide, The Ultimate Thrift Shopper's Guide to Las Vegas. Like I said, there is a link in the description. Now, I'm always looking at the notebooks and the journal section because I really love planners, paper, stationery, scrapbooking stuff. I love all that stuff, and I love to find it in Goodwill when it's, especially if it's still in good condition or brand new, because it's really expensive to buy it like at the craft store or, at Walmart or something. This was a brand new journal. It was only 99 cents, and it looks like it's never been used. So I definitely picked that up and put that in my cart. So I hope you enjoyed this story time. I hope you enjoyed shopping the Goodwill shelves with me and thrifting with me. Not every video is me doing a story time, but on this particular day, the music was really, really loud. So I knew that I was going to have to do a voiceover because I did not want to get a copyright strike. And some days they don't have the music loud, and some days they do. So I just have to kind of work with it as best as I can. All right, everyone, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you, had a good time listening, thrifting with me. If you have any questions or comments, please make sure you leave them down below. And if you're not subscribed, please make sure you do so. And I can't think of anything else I need to say. So, all right, everyone. Thanks again for watching. I will definitely see you in the next video.